So let's get straight into it. The most important part about trading news is knowing exactly when the news is happening. So let's go to forexfactory.com. I know you hear it in the name. I don't like it either, but it's a cool website. Don't mind the Forex part, okay? Now, when it comes down to this website, you're going to see the news in live time, okay? You're going to see the actual forecast, what's the previous, and what's the actual statistics on the news. Now, when it comes down to this side over here, you know, the forecast, that's basically what's projected. Now, when it comes down to the actual, it'll be a time limit right here. It'll show the exact time for when it actually comes out, and it's pretty accurate, you know. So when it shows the actual, if it's more than the forecast, 9 times out of 10 the market may be bullish, or there's a bullish sentiment in the market. And if it's lower than the forecast, then 9 times out of 10 the market may sell because the news release was lower than expected, okay? Now, in today's example, we're going to be using June 28th because I actually caught this move and news literally pushed the market in my direction. This was a crazy trade, I'm not even gonna lie. So if you want to see the news or see the date you're referring to, all you gotta do is literally just press the number you're referring to. Or if you want to see a weekly basis, all you gotta do is literally just press this arrow right here. All right. So with that being said, we're on June 28th. Now, when it comes down to June 28th, me personally, I trade around 9:45 to 11:15 a.m. But I did see that we had a red folder at 8:30. Now, I wasn't tripping on that, but I am going to be aware of it because it's a red folder and it's literally on the day that I'm trading. So I'm not sure how this may have affected the market, to be honest, because I didn't start trading until like 9:45. But I wasn't tripping on it because it wasn't no crazy news. The crazy news is PMI, Jerome Powell speaking, and put down in the comments if you know. But I know PMI is literally like one of the, because it says flash whenever in the news. You'll know when it's crazy news because it'll literally give you hints. Like this right here is talking about core PCE price index. That doesn't sound crazy. Now, at the time I started trading, Chicago PMI, Chicago, old block. So we have that news release coming at 9:45, and then we have another one coming in at 10 a.m. Now these are orange, so I'm not really tripping too much. I'm not going to lower my lots because it's an orange folder. If it's a red folder, I do recommend lowering your lots, but it's up to you at the end of the day. Whenever there's news, 9 times out of 10 there's going to be more volume. But just because there's more volume doesn't mean it's going to be an easy win. Doesn't mean you're going to make a lot of money, because the market is very unpredictable when there's news, okay? So that is Forex Factory. Pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. If you want to learn more about, you know, what's actually going on, all you really got to do is just open up this folder, literally press the folder, and just go to Why Traders Care and just read the notes if you want to. You don't need to. All you need to know is really just the forecast and the actual, just to see if the news was better than expected or lower than expected, and also see the folder to see if it's a high impact news, medium impact news, or a low impact news. And the gray is a bank holiday, which means there's probably not going to be any volume. So you should know your holidays, bro. Right here. Now you can subscribe to this channel. It's called Order Flow Stream. Now they go live every single day. They go live for hours. Shout out to these people. This is a paid service, but they go live and they have it on YouTube. So shout out to them. Now I know what you're thinking. What is this on the screen? We're just going to pay attention to this right here, the red and green bubbles and the throw up on the screen, okay? Now, this basically shows you the orders that are coming into the market in live time, and it also shows you the liquidity. Now, when it comes down to liquidity, I know what you think, like, okay, if it's a long wick, okay, 9 times out of 10, that's a liquidity grab. Or if there's just a area that looks like the market needs to fill it in, that's liquidity. Now, that could be true. I'm not gonna lie. I had that ideology once upon a time as well, but you gotta think about it like this. What you're doing is you're really imposing your will on the market. Just because you think it's liquidity does not mean that it's actually liquidity. But this software right here, this stream right here, shout out to Order Flow Stream, go subscribe to them. But this right here, it basically shows you where the actual liquidity is, because you can see the actual orders that are coming into the market, okay? This red line, I'm sorry if it's hard to see, I don't want to zoom in because it's going to stop the video. But this red line right here, this is where the liquidity actually is. And you see next to it, there's a bunch of numbers in a line. You got 353, 108, 118 on top of it, 144, 221, 200, and right there in the middle, it's 2,113. that's a lot of pending orders that are sitting right there just waiting to be filled. Okay, now the market is like, I'll say 3 points underneath. This is SPX or ES, so the market is 3 points underneath, so that wouldn't be a really big move. But when it comes down to that many orders being in the market, that means there's a lot of volume that's going to be present. Okay, now I did take this trade. I'll share a screenshot of the trade that I took, and I'll also go to the Discord and I'll show you exactly how I took this trade. And this was revised UOM consumer sentiment. Now I have no idea what it is, but you can literally read it, to be honest, and you can pause the video and read it because I'm not going to read it. Okay, but when it comes down to this, as you can see, we have what the forecast was versus what the actual was. So the news came out better than expected, which means that the market's probably going to buy. Okay, now when it comes down to the actual, okay, you're seeing it in real time. So just because it's actually happening, that doesn't mean that the market's just going to fly up, you know. But I was able to be confident in this trade knowing that it was going to buy because look, there's so much liquidity to the buying side. So I got the actual, which was better than expected, so that means that the market's going to be bullish. Then I have liquidity that's basically on the bullish side, so that gave me a lot of confidence to take a buy. So let's go over why I took this buy. So you have your news, which, you know, you got your news that gives you an edge in the market, and then you have your strategy as well. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So this is on the E-minis SPX chart. Now, when it came down to me trading this, so I see right here, we are in a crazy uptrend right now. I'm getting sick and tired of these summer conditions and these all-time high conditions. I am very annoyed with it. But at this moment, we were kind of at all-time highs. So you got this candlestick right here. This was the 8 a.m. candlestick. This is on the hour time frame. So you got a rejection to the downside, but you're still in a uptrend. There could have been a break of structure. So the market looks like it could be going bearish. I'm not gonna lie, it looks like it could be going bearish. And then you got this candlestick right here. Now this is the 930 open candle. Now if you know anything about trading indices, the 930 is something to stay away from, especially if there's news. Wild things can happen. Okay, so I was a little bit patient when it came down to this because as it broke through this area right here, this is looking like a pretty clean break of structure. Now I wouldn't have taken a break and retest right here because the market structure just looks a little silly from that point of view right there. So as you can see, the hour literally rejected this area. Now it's buying back up. All right, so let's go to the 30-minute time frame, and this is just, you know, the same thing. So you literally rejected this area right here. It tried to push down low, but it did reject right here. Now just because it's rejecting right here doesn't mean I'm going to take that sell or that buy. I just didn't like that area right there. The sells didn't look good because literally we're in an uptrend, and the buys didn't look good as well because literally the market literally broke structure. So I'm not going to be taking buys like that. That's a little too risky for me. Okay, so let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Now the 15-minute time frame, this looks good. This is two rejections. You got a rejection right here, another rejection right here, and you got a long wick rejection right here. That could be liquidity, but I didn't see liquidity on the heat map, so I'm not going to say that was liquidity grab, but it's definitely liquidity grab. Okay, so we got a liquidity grab plus an engulfing candle. Now this is giving me a lot of buying momentum, to be honest. We have a bullish engulfing on a 15-minute time frame. Okay, so at that point I believe I took the entry. Yep, this is the VWAP right here, the volume weighted average price. It's almost like an EMA. So literally that got broken through. We got a little bit of rejection, and I basically took this trade right here, and as you can see, it literally took off. I didn't move my take profit thing up, but I literally caught this whole entire move, and that's really it when it comes down to it. You know, I literally took the trade. Let me just show you the heat map. Let me just show you when it took off. Oh, okay. And that's how it looks like. It's just like a bunch of green bubbles, but you can see there's like a really big green bubble once it came down to that. Once I seen that big green bubble, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of bullish momentum. We got a little bit more liquidity up here. I'm gonna hold it. And 2 minutes went by and, you know, I was up. So yeah, that was how I traded that news. That was literally perfect execution, literally on my behalf for trading the market. you know, my strategy at the time, me being patient, not falling for any gimmicks, and really just looking at the heat map to see where the liquidity actually was. So that's how I took that trade. I hope this made sense. If it doesn't, get down in the comments and I'll give another example. I got nothing but time. I trade news all the time, but I mean, sorry. But yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like, share, and of course subscribe. It's your boy Forex and IV, and I'm gone. Oh, tired, bro. I ain't talked this long in a minute.